Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another holiday countdown tumbler tutorial. In this video, we're gonna make a really simple and easy Christmas split tumbler. We're gonna use one of my hand-lettered decals. We're gonna use some semi-transparent vinyl to create a really bright and colorful, traditional, but also fun tumbler design. As always, I'll have a full supply list down in the description box for you, along with discount codes and all of the links that you'll need if you want to follow me on social media, join my Facebook group, my exclusive group, shop on my website. All of that stuff will be linked down below for you. I think that's it. I hope you all enjoy the video. Let's go! We're going to start by applying our glitter to our tumbler. So I've got a white 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler here, and I'm going to take my Flynn Sisters Artist Cure Epoxy, and I'm going to spread a relatively thin layer of the epoxy on my tumbler. I might have used maybe 3 to 5 milliliters, so a little bit more than you typically would use for the epoxy method. But you just want to make sure that you've got a really thin, even layer. Let your cup sit for a couple minutes so the epoxy can even out, and then you'll go in with your glitter. Today I'm using Frosty from Peachy Olive Glitters. You can use any white glitter that you want. I really like Frosty because it's kind of got a little bit of a holographic shift to it, and it's really sparkly under epoxy. So I'm going to cover my entire cup with Frosty, and then I'm going to take Brite, also from Peachy Olive Glitters, which is a super ultra fine cut white glitter, and I'm going to just put that all over my tumbler to fill in any gaps maybe that we missed with Frosty, and just make sure we have the most coverage and the most sparkle possible. I let my glitter layer dry for a few hours, and then I added my 2 coats of my Flynn Sisters Fast Cure Epoxy. Each coat was about 20 milliliters, and after those are cured, we're ready to split our cup in half and add all of our vinyl details and really bring this tumbler to life. So I'm going to take some painter's tape here, and on the bottom of my tumbler, I'm just going to eyeball what I think half is, and then I'm going to measure each half of that split to make sure that they're even. I did have to try this a couple times, so if you've got to do it a bunch of times, it's okay. Just keep readjusting your tape. Once I've done that and my halves are even, I'm going to bring that tape up the side of my cup, and then I will continue that line with another piece of painter's tape. Again, just eyeballing it to make sure it looks straight to my eye. And then I'm going to add another piece of tape on the half I'm not working on. That's just so I don't get confused. So for this half, we're going to use a super cute Christmas leopard print semi-transparent vinyl sheet from BAMF Custom Creations. I got this like a couple years ago. For some reason, I never used it, but every year I look at it and I'm like, I need to use that. So I decided this year was the year. First, we need to cut down our leopard print vinyl so that we only use really what we need. So I'm just going to make 2 cuts at the bottom of the cup and then at the top rim of the cup. And then we've got all of this excess vinyl that we can use on another project. Then once I've done that, I'm going to cut around the bottom edge of the vinyl. I'm just going to cut around those shapes so that they look rounded and not just like a harsh cut line, because I want this to look as seamless as possible. So I don't want any half shapes anywhere other than, you know, the 2 seams where we're going to stripe out anyway. So once I've cut that off, I'm going to cut a little bit of the backing away from my vinyl, line it up with my cup area, making sure that that bottom edge of the vinyl that we just rounded off is all on the side of the cup. We don't want anything hanging over the edge. And then I'm going to take my vinyl squeegee and I'm just going to push the vinyl onto the tumbler, pushing the backing away in the process. Now I'm going to take my craft knife and I'm going to very carefully and slowly cut along that tape line that we have that's dividing our 2 halves. And this is so much easier when you can see through and you can see the tape line that you're trying to follow. So once I've done that, I'm going to cut all of this excess vinyl from the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is cut out some little shapes from that piece and just fill in any gaps that we might have, just to make this look as full and as seamless as possible. So I put a couple pieces on the bottom, put some just like up on the top rim where I cut off the excess, just to make it look like we didn't cut pieces off so that this would look seamless, you know what I mean? So then I'm going to cut off the other seam side and remove my tape. So this is what we've got, and now we can go to the other side and add our decal. For the decal, we're going to use a hand-lettered file that I made. This is available on my website with all of the offsets created. And we're going to do a triple offset on this decal. So starting with this super pretty metallic green chrome vinyl. This is from BAMF Custom Creations as well. So I applied my transfer tape and then I used my paper trimmer to cut away all of the excess vinyl and backing and whatever, so that I have a perfectly cut section of my offset so that I can make sure that I get this as centered as possible on this half of the tumbler. I made the decal about 6.5 or maybe 7 inches tall because I wanted it to take up as much of this half of our tumbler as humanly possible. So I'm going to place it, and then again I'm going to measure just from the end of the decal to the end or the edge of our vinyl just to make sure we've got that as centered as we can get it. Secure one edge down with a piece of painter's tape, and then I'm going to remove the backing from this offset and just smooth it down onto the tumbler, making sure I don't have any crinkles or bubbles or anything in the vinyl. For the next layer of our offset, I'm going to use this really pretty baby pink. This is just a regular permanent vinyl, and I'm going to place that right on top of our green. And yes, I'm doing this one all in one piece. This was very stressful and hectic for me. I'm just going to try to line it up the best I can and then pull off the transfer tape, and we will move on to our next 2 layers. For the next layer of the offset, we're going to use a red glitter vinyl. And now this one I am going to cut into smaller pieces just because we're getting a little tight here. I wanted to make sure everything was lined up right, and I didn't want to have to cut this again and take it off and do it all over again. So we're going to do this in little pieces, and then for the top layer of our decal, we're going to use some silver textured metallic vinyl. You can use, of course, any color you want, but I thought that silver kind of went better with this color palette and just kind of gives everything a little bit of an extra pop or oomph. For the striping on the sides of our tumbler, we're not going to go as crazy with as many layers. We're just going to do the top 2 layers of the decal. So I'm going to take my red glitter vinyl stripe. I cut this at 0.2 inches in width, and I'm just going to line it up with the edge of my vinyl. And I am going to wrap this around the bottom too, so we have like one continuous line all the way around the tumbler. And I'm going to repeat that same step on the other side, cut off the excess from the top, and then for the top layer we're going to use that same silver textured metallic vinyl. If you want to use all 4 layers on your striping, you totally can. I just thought it would be maybe too much, might be a little too thick, I don't know, but totally up to you. So once I had all of my vinyl work done, I added my final 2 coats of epoxy. I think I'll probably add 1 more coat of epoxy to this just to be safe, but that's it for this tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, super simple and easy design, but also super fun and festive, which is just my style. Let me know what you think of this down below in the comments. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel as well. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow for another holiday countdown video. Okay, love you. Bye.